Hey now. How is everybody doing? Welcome to Time with Tanya. This is new to my channel because there's some insight and some strategies that I've heard a few of you say you would like me to share a little bit more of. So this will be that time for us. Have comments, questions, or thoughts, whatever it is that you're thinking, conversations that you want to have, and I will pour into you some of the strategies and actionable steps that I've had in my life that have supported me through my journey. And I'm hoping that it supports you and yours as well. So, in this time with Tanya, you get the chance to know a little bit more about me. Like, I'm a native of Washington, D.C. Yep, we do exist. I was also raised by my grandmother, who I give to a lot of you. The information that you hear inside of the Red Alert Diaries podcast, yeah, that insight, a lot of it comes from my grandmother. The lessons that I should have learned, but I didn't because I thought I was grown. Well, I'm going to give you some of those pieces so that you don't have to do the things that I did, the landmines that I've crossed. You can safely navigate and get around into a better space and place for yourself. And so, as I go through teach, sharing, and showing some of that information with my clients, you'll get sort of some insight along the way for those strategies, those actionable steps. But for today, I'm just going to share a little bit more about myself and one something, because out of this podcast and in my show and on my channel and all of the various things that I do, I give you one something that you can take away. So today I want to share with you all a lesson that my sister reminded me of because I thought at one point I was super grown. See, I got married at 21. After 11 years of marriage, I found myself going through a divorce. That divorce left me broke and broken. But there were strategies that I learned, actionable steps that I took, and I'm going to share that in time with Tanya. And this thing that my sister reminded me of, she said, that Tanya, you forget that when people come into your life, some plant, some seed, and some water. Now, that was a good reminder because here's the thing that happens to us. For people in our world that are close to us, they often don't know what to say when we're walking through the storms of our life. But if you allow yourself to be open to hearing and receiving what they have to share, and also creating a safe space for them to share it, you can get some extra insight and some nuggets. So I'm thankful that my sister decided to open up and share with me that element. Because when she shared that some people seed, some plant, and some water, it reminded me that at the end of the day, I had to be fertile ground. You see, you cannot receive information from others if you choose not to be fertile ground. It won't resonate well. It won't come off in a manner that is supportive of you. And when new experiences come into your life, you won't be able to have those take place. So here's something that I want to share with you. The past pastures that you have lived through, they don't matter. That broken relationship, it's gone for a reason. The ex is an ex for a reason. That purpose in that relationship may have just to be to give you some insight about you. I know for me, with my first marriage, because I grew a little, developed a little, used some strategies and actionable steps to now be in my second marriage. So there is life after divorce. If you are looking at all the statistics, because it often says that people, the second marriage, you have a double chance. It's like going through divorce over and over and over again. It's an 80% chance of a second relationship going into that capacity. But you don't have to be that part of that statistic. You don't have to go through the thoughts that everybody else have. Like if you've gone through all these multiple marriages, how are you going to make? Here's the thing. Relationships are the key components of who we are. When you develop your first relationship, it's you being strong and clear about who you are and what you bring to the table. It helps you get a better insight when other people show up into your life. You see, when I got married at 21 the first time, I didn't really know Tanya. I had an idea of who I wanted to be, some thoughts about what I would like to have take place, but I didn't really know me. I didn't know enough about myself, about the things that I like. And in that first marriage, my criteria, My criteria was the criteria of those that were around me. You see, my grandmother raising me was my first level of criteria. I did what she said. But what I had to learn later on was pay attention to how things worked out in her world. I am so grateful that my grandparents were married like over 60 something years. It's a beautiful thing. But what I didn't pay attention to was that my grandmother was raising me alone. That should have been a clue. So, one of the first things I had to truly rediscover in order to reset my life in the aftermath of my divorce, pay attention to the people that are giving you the lessons. When they are coming from a place of love, receive the love. But take the information with a grain of salt. If there's meat on it, receive it. And the rest of it, discard. My grandmother gave me some great information, but what I did not do was pay attention to some of the elements and should have just taken it with a grain of salt. She was feeding me information of love. And that perspective, that's the second part. Receiving information in love will support you. But knowing how to be strategic and applying it to your world, your life, your skill sets, oh, that's going to take you digging deeper. That's going to take you developing that first relationship with yourself so that you can build a better relationship with others. This is the foundation of what I typically teach, share, and show. When you have clarity of who you are, you'll have more of an idea about how to show up in a relationship with others. And the glue, some of you have heard me share. The glue that makes it all stick together is having a relationship with a being greater than yourself. Now, if you have a relationship outside of yourself, a being greater than yourself, then that's a level of capacity that you can attain to that's beyond all the people in your world. Because people, as much as they love you, as much as they want to try, they will fail you. They're not doing it out of hurt. They're not doing it to be spiteful. We're human and we're flawed. There will be things and insight and lessons and information that can support you. But there are dynamics and elements that are in one person's world that may not fully fit inside of yours. So take the information, including time with Tanya, that supports you best. And if it works out well, please tell me, let me know so that I can continue to pour into you the things that I know are supporting you. Because here's the beautiful thing about being human. We all have life lessons that we can give and share with each other. Because if I have stepped on a path that has caused me chaos, given me shrapnel, you don't need to step on that one. Use that insight to navigate a little bit different. That is one of the reasons why something else about me that you'll get to know along the way. Because in time with Tanya, I'll share with you some of the places that I've learned some of my lessons, like amazing books, other great podcasts, wonderful people that I come across. That insight I'll give to you because if I can help make your pasture fertile, plant something that you need, seed a moment in your fertile ground, or maybe water, what you need in the moment, that is something that I want this channel to do for you. That is a space and place that I want to be for you. So as I walk through this journey with you, let me know how to maximize time with Tanya so that the time that you spend with me supports you in your journey. Leave your comments, questions, and thoughts so I can follow it because I will look at all of them and we can pick back up. But the thing that I wanted to share today was what someone asked me, Tanya, how did you get to making your second marriage last longer than your first marriage? You see, my first marriage, as you already heard, was 11 years. But now, come January, I will be celebrating my 13th year. Yeah, 2024 is going to be so much fun for me. And the way that Eric and I, that's my husband's name, when Eric and I made this decision to start letting our marriage be the best for both of us, because this is not our first marriage for either one of us. But we did not want to fall into that statistic, making it seem like your second marriage has an 80% chance of failure because the first marriage already has a 50% chance of failure. We did not fail because we are intentional with how we plant, how we seed, and how we water. And I'm so thankful that my sister shared that information with me because I still carry it on. Look at the relationships that you're in. Are they planting good stuff inside of your soil? Some people may need to come and just replant your soil because in the beginning of my relationship with Eric, he had to help replant my soil because some people in your world just come and deplete it. They take away so much. So some individuals show up, like my current husband has, and he started pouring back into me. He could not plant the seeds because what I needed in that season of my life was just a refurbishing of the ground. And he decided to be man enough to refurbish the ground. That was initially enough. So, in one element, while we were in dating phase, that is what he did. He planted good soil, helped refurbish the foundation that I already had because my past pastures was not supporting me in that journey. The next thing that happened later on in our relationship, because your marriage will morph as you grow with one another, pay attention to where you are. There were moments in his relationship, in my relationship with him, that I planted a good soil for him. But then there came a different time in our marriage. Because shortly after we got married, y'all, chaos will happen. I want to let you know that. Chaos will happen whenever you make a change. See, complacency likes company. And if you choose not to be present anymore, then chaos will show up sending an all points bulletin. You got an APB saying, go get her, because she is trying to leave this stable foundation. When I chose to get married, shaking up my whole world, the first year of our marriage, I got sick. I had an injury that took an additional 3 years. So for the first 3 years of our marriage, he had to deal with that statement. You know how they make the comment, when you get married for good or for bad, oh, we walk right into the bad, y'all. But he was there. And I'm grateful because if a second marriage is going to fall apart, it is typically in the first 2 years. And with me being sick 30 days into our new marriage, I wasn't able to be present. And he had to take care of me. It was in those moments that he transitioned from giving me a fertile pasture to now planting seeds. He had to plant the seeds of love, plant the seeds of reassurance, plant the seeds that he would still be present. Because part of what happened in my past started showing up in my present because I wasn't fully aware of what I was doing and had not yet done enough of the self work. So the abandonment issues that I felt being a daddyless daughter and a motherless child showed up in my marriage. Those are the things that typically show up in our relationships. And those are the things that typically have it go off course. But if you recognize that there are moments where some plant, some seed, some water, and in a marriage, you may need to do that at different seasons in your relationship. Because when we got past year 3, y'all, that is when we started watering one another. It was in year 3 that I started writing my premiere book. It was in year 3 that Eric published his premiere book. It was in year 3 that we began to be restored and fill in the gaps. Because while he was taking care of me for the first 3 years of my marriage, his soil needed to be replanted. I needed to water a little bit more and plant some new seeds of assurance that I'm grateful, that you are present, that I'm glad that we are together. And it was then that third thing that I was telling you about in relationships, having a better relationship with yourself, step 1. Having a better relationship with others, that's step 2. That giving love, that planting the seeds, that watering, all of those pieces. And the step 3, having a better relationship with a being greater than yourself will sustain you through the journey. That is the part where Eric and I relabeled our marriage, which has helped us keep it together. For those of you that don't know, I have a basic belief in God as the creator of the universe, being Jesus, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Now, you don't have to believe in the God I serve, but if you let Jesus join you on the journey, you will have the glue that you need that will hold you together when the world starts spinning, when you feel like the pastures are broken and you can begin again and do better so that you can be better and have better. So that's a lot that I've shared on This Time with Tanya. Let me know what you think about it. And I'll share a little bit more as time goes on, but let me know what you need in this time so that I can pour into you the various things that were poured into me. In the meantime, this is Tanya E. Hood, walking in my purpose, and I want you to do the same. Take care. See you on the other side.